So good morning everybody. Friday morning, time is 9:20. In the car here with Dad, and we're looking to go and pick up Natasha John, who recently opened her channel. For those of you who don't know, you can just put in the @Natasha John 8002. Please check out this channel. Great home cooking. She's a fantastic cook. So guys, check it out, like and subscribe. Flip camera. Quick road trip this morning. We heading to Makoya, and we have quite an interesting topic for you all this morning, which is Mr. Baptiste. Is it the power that we gain from reading?
Oh yes, the power that we gain from reading. Reading is a vital thing, you know. Reading books are important. Books that are important for the development of children and continued development of adults. You know, I was reading this particular book, and the author was saying that when we read aloud to our children, we help them to, you know, we help them with that pronunciation and intonation. We help them to develop an interest in words. And even if your child is very, very young, the mere fact that you're reading, the child begins to understand that there is some kind of magic in these pages. So, you know, I remember, Sana, when I used to call you, you were a young teenager, and I used to call you and tell you, hey, come and read aloud for me. And reading aloud is recommended that the person listening, even the adult, gets to understand a little clearer what this is all about. You know, sometimes you're reading to kids, they're not really following as they should because they're too young. But the mere fact that they're touching the pages and they're feeling the little softness in the page, right, is a thrill for them. You know? And then they say that, you know, you could adapt little play sessions with your children. You read something like, let's say, how many old stories that we used to have local things? Like, what you remember? Some of the local names.
One with Dick and Jane.
And then,
a kite. Lucky Dip.
Right. Lucky Dip was a dog, is it?
No, Lucky Dip is like these are like beginners children's book. Like when you're in standard one, first year, that kind of thing.
Right. I used to call you
Kala and Bolo.
That's what I'm thinking about. Kala and Bolo. Yes. I'm thinking of Kala and Bolo. Yes. What was the story about Kala and Bolo?
I can't remember it offhand. I don't want thing for sure. It's that it had a boy named Bolo. Or Boyo. Kala and Boyo.
Boyo, yeah.
Yeah. And I know the girl name was Kala.
So you think that they switched those names from, you know, like Jack and Jill to make it more localized?
Of course, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, to pick that interest.
Yes.
Yeah, which is smart, which is clever.
Yeah.
And you use simple words that children everyday use, they're hearing, you know.
But to come back to the I remember on a Saturday, he used to pick a really hard book, boy, the Jewel in the Crown. Right? And Daddy will call me and he say, Lasana, come, we need to do some reading. And I can't tell you the effort it used to take me to sit down to try and read this book, boy. But I will tell you something, guys. Was it beneficial? Definitely. And I will say, for exactly what I'm doing right now, presenting, doing all of us, speaking to you all into the street here, Dad. Yeah, right? I wouldn't lie, the more you read out aloud is the better. You will be able to hear the grammatical mistakes that you will be making to the very end. Yes. So I urge y'all, it's something very, very good to do with your kids. And you will see how difficult it is going to be for them to be able to execute it well. Alright, so we here at Natasha's and Panta's. I love it, these dogs that have come here, Daddy.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, hello. Hey, that boy standing there, man. Yay.
Which is the one that is favorite?
All of them, boy. All of them is my favorite. Pantoy! Hey, look, you call it there.
Yes, sir.
You come in. Hey, hear us now? I know you. You ain't making anything to me?
Nah, I want to know something. But somebody can't just stick back outside.
Alright. What's he saying?
How you doing?
Fellas.
Now we got water.
Eh.
I ain't even cook it.
Serious?
Let's go buy pizza.
Nice, man.
Yeah, for Sunday.
Chashoy. What you saying? Hey.
So guys,
No.
I tell me elephant and girls.
And girls. Boys and girls, man.
The wrong people.
You better drive, Daddy?
No, I want you to tip.
Alright, cool.
Very good, okay?
Watch me.
That's good.
That's a Uber driver, you know.
Thank you, sexy legs. I bumped into a lady once, you know, when I was playing tennis. And we had finished the game. And as I came around the corner, an elderly woman, she's, oh, sorry. I love your legs. I love your legs.
That what she telling you?
I love your legs.
Oh, you're doing a tennis short pants?
Still is them pants. You have a blue one I see.
Yeah.
I know them pants. Yeah.
Yeah, brother. Lita. Don't leave me hanging now, man.
Pants. You can try and watch, you know, your mother.
Hey.
Something on his neck here.
You good?
Come. Up.
Alright, Litas.
Yeah. I'll keep on under.
Pax. Alright. Lita, guys. Yeah, Panta. Tash. What's going on? Oh, cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the point I was making now.
Yeah, we're talking about reading aloud and, you know, the benefit of reading, as a matter of fact, reading to your children. And even enjoying it as an adult as you read along. Simple material, but when you're reading to very young children, it's an advantage to help them to read and to help them. Their imagination grows and they begin to formulate thoughts that are, you know, constructive. They wouldn't understand everything, of course, naturally, but it is a platform for development. So what were you saying now? You used to resent
Yeah, I used to really resent that reading session that you put me through, boy. Yeah, I wanted to go outside and play. And I couldn't understand, well, why daddy had me reading this, boy? I can't even understand why I'm reading.
Okay, but in the ensuing years, would you say that you did the same thing with your children?
I did it a lot with Brandon.
With Brandon?
Yes.
Okay.
I did it with Zach. I actually taught Sydney and Sadie a lot of their reading. Not too much Suri, because
Well, of course.
Suri now touching on that, right?
Yes.
Yes, but I did a lot of the initial reading, helping them particular like with the like the phonics.
Right.
There's something on the
Yes.
Alright guys, just for a quick little something as we continue this topic of the power of reading. We are on the Eastern Main Road. We heading towards the Tunapuna direction. So we heading west. Behind us is east. And behind me is also Natasha.
Actually, I heard that you have begun your channel.
Yes.
That's all. Congratulations.
Yes, man, no
Thanks,
problem.
Susanna. Yes, that is good.
No problem.
This life is all about helping each other, eh? You know, recently I met a man who hailed out to us and we began to talk, and he described himself as as someone who never learned to read. He has adult children, and he was disadvantaged when it came to education. But I am sure I have been talking to someone, and there are adult classes in Arima that I have to really pursue to find out how does one get into the program. So I'm curious to know, how does one who cannot read or cannot write can put value even to money and could distinguish, you know, a sense of value. I'm kind of lost, because being able to read and write and being able to count, maybe not greatly, but how does one really put value to something without knowing, okay, you know? I don't know if you can understand where I'm coming from.
I understand fully well what you say. I will tell you this. It's amazing. It's amazing that many people, especially some of the people in the market, they don't know how to read, they don't know how to write, but it's some of the most brilliant minds when it comes to money. And I ain't only talking about calculated money, but I'm talking about even in making like proper investments, knowing how much to take out, how much to reinvest. Some of the greatest minds that you'll get is inside of like the marketplace, or people on the side of the road selling vegetables and thing. Watch me, amazing, daddy. Amazing. You and I, who might be able to read pretty okay, we don't have a mathematical mind like these people.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And that's another thing. Some people might be good in the English language, but they're horrible at the maths. And vice versa. Some people good at the maths and horrible in the English.
Right.
Some people, like myself, you're horrible in the both of them. Right? And in rare cases, there are those who they're good in the maths and equally also in the English. But what you are saying is that you find it to be unbelievable that some people could excel without even the knowledge of being able to read. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, you know.
Right.
I'm saying that, you know. No, the other thing I find fantastic, really, we were at a wake in Dinsley some years ago, and you know, a little gambling session started, and one or two characters from Dinsley Road came, and they were, what do you call it, like the casa?
Yeah, they're setting up for a gamble.
Yeah, they're setting up for a gamble. And I know these two fellas. I know this particular individual from Dinsley Road, and you would not think that he's capable of understanding, hey, I have to keep a check on these 11 people here who are pitching in their money when they're playing the cards, right? And Lasana, I am amazed. I was amazed at how efficiently he knew who won the bet, who lost the bet.
Yes.
And you wouldn't think that he's a professor of mathematics or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But he just knew. He just knew how much he had to hand out.
Yes.
How much he
You'll
had to...
just swing into this place here for me, please.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Daddy,
Yeah.
I know the individual that you're speaking of. I was equally amazed as you.
Well, folks, we are back home after our quick journey into Tunapuna. I had 2 doubles. May not have been wise for my condition, but I certainly enjoyed Sauce's tasty doubles. Made a quick turn up the road, dropped off Natasha, saw Panther working really hard in his yard there, came home, and the subject this morning had been about reading for your children. And you know, it tells us really that children, as they progress in age, their interest varies widely. So what might have been obtaining for them at an earlier age, as they grow older, they may not be interested in fairy tales. They may not be interested any longer in what manpower, the kind of stories you could roll off. But the idea is that when they were younger, and as a parent, you read to them, it will make an impression. And I'm sure even Lyndon would say, even up to last night, that, he's doing something with the girls, that he's reading for them. They're going through little imaginary stories, and it's going to help them develop that when they have their own families, they're going to be doing the same things. So I was anxious to get back home here and to do a little reading. And as Sarah was explaining a little earlier, you tend to want to put your children through reading aloud, because they say reading aloud helps you to hear the words. Your children hear the words, and they may not understand the words, but it is important that you give it to them as you have received it in your own time. I want to say also that it's advisable. I mean, you can go up on Google nowadays, and you could truly, if you want to find out the meaning of an expression, you can go into Google but there's a thrill. There's a thrill when you get into the dictionary and you're searching for a word, and as you flip the pages, you come across a new word. You look at it, then you get to the word that you want to understand a little better. So I think it's advisable to get your kids to really start using this hardcover book they call a dictionary. It's a wonderful collection of words, and they say that you should learn at least 10 new words per day. I can't say that I already put that into practice, but you should learn at least 10 new words every day. And when you learn those new words, you try to form sentences for those new words as you progress. So your children see you doing these things, and they may not understand, but as they grow older, they would see the value of what you are trying to project. Having said that, I want to enjoy a little reading aloud, and I'm biased actually, so I'm going to read a little bit for you. Hope you enjoy it, from The Ghost of Korah. And this book here is about the struggle of a village to overcome a snare in the days of colonialism. It was an attempt by a unknown village team to challenge the imperial, you could say the imperial majesty of the British. And the British were known for, their vast experience in cricket. And the theme would be, if this little village could put together a side to whip the Englishmen at their own game, it would do something for the psyche of the people who were eventually going to be dislocated from the Korah Valley. So I'm just going to indulge you a little bit in reading. They say when you read aloud, you retain better. So I'm doing this also not for your enjoyment only, but for my retention, actually. So I'm randomly going to get in. I'm randomly going to get into a little reading. At 8 o'clock, when the Korah Mapapis reached the grounds in Aruka, the home fans were out in full force. Unlike the Korah Mapapis, they were angry. Angry at the British. Angry at the sudden changes they had made. Angry because the sun was hot. Angry at the mole on Peter's forehead. The heavy brown matting was already rolled out, and stumps and bales were in place. On the grassy sidelines, a batsman was practicing with 4 teammates. The Reapers' wicketkeeper was new. He was an East Indian teenager named Chanders, a short chap who constantly pulled at his pads as they rubbed against his crotch. "What happened to the previous keeper?" Eusebio asked. "He lost a leg hopping onto the train," Mr. Roberts replied. "I never see this boy play, but I hear he could bat." Chanders looked at Eusebio and Mr. Roberts and smiled. There were large spaces between his teeth. "Mama yo," Mr. Roberts whispered. "That boy could floss with rope." Eusebio chuckled and said, "His teeth are further apart than cricket stumps." Mr. Roberts coughed. You mean a goal post? Eusebio searched for something smart to say. Meanwhile, Chandler had stopped smiling and was glaring at Eusebio and Mr. Roberts, almost as if he had heard their little jokes. Do you think he heard us, Mr. Roberts asked. Impossible, Eusebio said. He's more than 30 feet away. Have you seen the size of his ears? Mr. Roberts snickered. Chandler continued staring. Then he pointed at himself and shouted, I have big ears. The place went dead quiet. Imagine, Chandler said, as he approached Mr. Roberts and Eusebio with a jaunty stride. Two big hardback men stand up watching me like his boys they like and talking about my teeth. Oh shoot, Mr. Roberts whispered. Chandler paused and tilted his head. And you cussing too? Mr. Roberts' eyes widened. He covered his mouth and muttered something to Eusebio. Chandler recoiled in horror and said, You're using the F word too? Around all these little boys and girls? No wonder black people children just come out so. Chandler's, Wilfred said, turn it down a little. Will you? We will deal with them on the field. Wilfred was the Aruka Reapers captain. He and the vice captain were hunched over a playbook. Raymond Calais, who had witnessed the exchange and was somewhat amused to see Mr. Roberts flabbergasted, strolled onto the field and walked to the pitch. The sun was out, pushing a warm breeze across the field. Raymond walked the length of the matting, at intervals bending and placing his palm flat on the surface. He nodded, smiled. The matting had soaked up moisture. A shadow loomed over his head, and when Raymond turned, Wilfred and the vice captain were standing behind him. Look at you playing a big shot, Wilfred said, inspecting our nice, sweet pitch. The bush monkey has come back for more licks, the vice captain sniggered. Raymond Calais simply smiled and extended his hand. May the best man win, he said. One thing I'd been advised when you're writing, and I hope I would have captured it in this episode. I'm grateful for Lyndon helping me and Lasana, and even Ellis at one point had an input. I am very happy that the language of the Ghost of Korah is simple. And it has been advised that when you are writing, you keep your language very simple. Simple enough that, a youngster could really, a young teenager could understand it. If you keep your words very simple. I remember a lady came from St. Joseph and she wanted to know about the Ghost of Korah, and she asked whether the language was very highfalutin, and I couldn't imagine me from trying to write with highfalutin stuff. So I'm cool, Brian. What's up? I'm talking about your game here, cricket. Yeah, a little while now. You think you would like to read it sometime? Not right now.
Next week,
Next week?
Boy, how much is the book for?
This is the last copy, my friend. I won't be able to sell it to you. But you can come in here and I could read for you. I could read some pages for you. Right? So anytime you feel free, huh? Yeah, feel free. I will enjoy reading bits of it for you. And that's your kind of game. I know you like cricket. You know? Ah. Where is this? Terrence Hines.
Yeah, who's going to play that? Yes, he can give me over after I come back to play ball.
Okay.
Yeah, and Emmerich playing there, Terrence Hines playing there, Simmons playing there.
And Cora there?
Yeah, Brian Christmas playing there.
Okay, a league is going on?
Yeah, the goes price for 10,000.
10,000?
Yeah.
You in it too?
Yeah.
What side you playing for?
Outside called Superstars.
Superstars.
With Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Then fellas from Maharaja and that.
Okay.
Maharaja and from police from Maharaja, the inspector from Cora. And Darrell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So?
Yeah, so we are
Yeah. But you have played cricket before with that team, that league, right? And how it went?
They join up now.
Okay.
Because we had it had a open league, right?
Ah.
No, a street league, so I play for one street. They play for one street, right?
Right.
So I play for one street, I play for one street, right? And now we join up together now because this cricket is hard cricket now. So we take two sides and bring it to one. So we try to win it 10,000.
You're trying to win 10,000. Well, Brian, that's a big a big go, eh? Yeah, man, that's nice. What's the name of your side, you say? What's the name of your side?
Superstars, or rather superstars, Jorabe Hunters.
Superstars and Hunters. Sounds like a strong team.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
You are strong team right now. We play 5 games.
Ah.
No, that's all. 6 games and win 3.
Okay.
We have 2 more again. And once you win 1 and 2 more, we inside.
Really?
They top 4 here.
Well, boy, all the best to your team. So join me next week sometime, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a man who loves cricket. And he would fit right into the Ghost of Korra because this is about cricket and its advantage against the British.
That's good thing to for you. So the conflict.
He did something like that already, Lyndon.
Yeah, like you see what Terrence Hines and I play from there.
Ah,
You should come on and catch up.
okay.
All them big players now, you know, like
All right.
America.
Okay, now we're hearing about
And the one I'm saying is S6.
S6.
Yeah, they have 2 sides. They have A side and a B side.
Okay, my friend. Good luck. So, in the Ghost of Korra, a little unknown team, or a very unknown team, came up against the British. What they succeeded in doing, in achieving, is remarkable. Through endurance, through courage, commitment, a lot of knocks, not only on the field, but off the field, but they prevailed. So when we read aloud, maybe one day your child, as an adult, might put his hand on one of these books. C.L.R. James also wrote about cricket, and he did a wonderful job too. And it's good when you get these books. They say that one of the most popular books you can indulge in nowadays is children's books. So that if you're a parent, you start reading aloud for your children, and they get into the habit of wanting to do it for theirs as time will go by. So my friends, grab a book, work with the dictionary, and help your kid along to love language. Thank you.